clearly and openly for Russia, Transnistria and Moldova were perceived as danger for Europe, because there was a communist regime which was promoting strongly the integration towards Belarus and Russia. And there was no big difference, let's say, regarding the two regions. Since 2003, when Dorin did not sign the Cossack Memorandum in order to further make Moldova federation, and formally Dorin turned to Europe, Transnistria became an excuse for Dorin, because always he had the argument that in Transnistria is worse than in Moldova, so we have to pay more attention to the human rights violation in Transnistria, and to excuse the government for non-implementation of European standards inside Moldova. Because Moldova is pro-European, is European-oriented country, and we, together with Europe, Moldova has to solve the Transnistrian issue. In fact, it was a manipulation, and it became clear 2 years ago, I would say, when Dorin started again to have bilateral, open contacts with Russia, and when Ossetia and Abkhazia were recognized as independent states, Dorin was receiving instruction on behalf of Medvedev in Sochi. He was listening very attentive to what Moldova should not do, otherwise Moldova will have the same treatment as Georgia had. And the document that he signed during the election campaign with Medvedev, that statement with replacement of OC, of the peacekeeping forces, Russian peacekeeping forces, with OC peacekeeping forces. This is nothing, because OC is under Russia anyway. And on the other hand, those peacekeeping forces could be brought to Moldova, to Transnistria, only after solving the conflict. So it's nothing, because until the conflict will be solved, there will be Russian peacekeeping forces, and the conflict cannot be solved with the Russian peacekeeping forces and the Russian military arsenal in Transnistria. So it's nonsense. And according to the format 5+2, the Dorin does not have any competence to sign documents on the behalf of Moldova with Russia on such issue, because there is a negotiation form. So Transnistria was an excuse, and now, after checking all the possibilities, I think Europe does not have a solution regarding how to treat with Moldova and Moldovan government. Because after being close with Voronin in relationship, if they now will start to accuse Voronin in a way, then they have the fear that it will happen what I said to you earlier, that Voronin will have arguments to move, to switch officially towards Russia, and then Europe will lose Moldova. This is the fear that they have. At least these are the statements that I've heard in Strasbourg. So Transnistria plays a role of blocking everything in fact. You cannot solve human rights in Moldova because there is Transnistria. You cannot criticize Moldovan government because there is Transnistria and the government can turn to Russia. So, and this is also a problem for Ukraine. I think it's already a stereotype and a prejudice on the behalf of those who deal with this issue. Without clear position regarding the clear situation in Moldova, the real and the concrete situation in Moldova and in the Transnistrian region, there could be no progress, because the double statements will be cut and used separately as propaganda, or even if there will be severe statements regarding Moldova. The next step is that the communists, they will hide those statements for the citizens. They will not broadcast those statements, and they will create national bodies, and they will try to substitute the international bodies by national bodies with the same let's say mission. For example, we have the National Committee for European Integration. And now, when there are no messages on behalf of the European Commission, because the National Commission for European Integration sounds very alike to the European Commission, a lot of decisions are taken at the level of the National Commission for European Integration. And for the citizens who are not very informed about the European institutions, because there are a lot of European institutions, Council of Europe, European Council, Council of European Union, Commission, and Council of Regions, and so on. And National Commission for European Integration sounds very loyal to the, let's say, friendly to the European institutions. And already several times they have meetings at the level of National European Integration Commission, and they're taking decisions in favor of European integration. It could last for 5 years or 10 years more. So Transnistria and all these manipulations play a role of blocking, in fact, everything. Implication of foreign investment. I mean, I doubt that a foreign investor, hearing all this information, would have the desire to come and to risk in Moldova with 1 million euros or dollars or 10 or more. I mean, it's. There were attempts, there was a will, I would say. At the City Hall I received, I think, hundreds of foreign investors that wanted to come to Moldova after Romania integrated into the EU, because in Romania already it became also expensive. A lot of opportunities in Moldova because of low costs of labor force, maintenance, possibilities to export to West and to the East, but no democratic environment. So they were hoping that things will improve, but I'm sure that after the last events, they have a clear, let's say, picture about the risks that they have to face in case that they will come to Moldova with investments. Education of those who are outside Chisinau. Personally, since 2003 until today, I had rare possibilities to stay at home during the